Today, we're going to import NPM packages inside of Toddle to extend the functionalities using custom code. Now, this video is different than usually any of the other videos that we have on this YouTube channel because those are the topics we normally only talk in office hours and in my paid community. But because this is such a topic that I've got a lot of requests about and people seem to really want to build custom packages for the Toddle community, I want to share this knowledge with you for free because it will benefit the Toddle community if more people are building templates and packages that are open source. So let's take a look at this today. Now, I'm right now inside of NPM here, and you can find great stuff in there. For example, I found this cool chart library that actually looks pretty nice that's called Apex Charts. And today I want to show you how you can install those inside of Toddle and how you can build a reusable package for that. And we're actually going to build, let's do a whole package from scratch and publish it for the Toddle community for free. So let's get started with that. So first of all, I need to create a new package inside of Toddle. And let's do this under NoCode ProCode, so at least I get some advertisement for doing something for free. And now let's call that Apex Charts. There you go. And let's create that project. And now I created a package. Now, it's not fully working yet, the package, but there you go. And now we can start integrating all those things. So first of all, we probably want to start with a component because people will be embedding that inside of their application. So let's call this chart and let's generate this. Now we got that component and now we can start building it. Now let's take a look at the NPM documentation here. Now we can see we can install this using a script tag, and whenever you're using a script tag, I generally suggest loading this using JavaScript. So let me just really quick get my template from my community that you can, by the way, join if you want for only $129.99. It will be the $129. You'll even save the 99 cents. It's the best investment that you can do if you really care about building amazing applications using Toddle and Xano. That was enough advertisement, at least for now. And now I just want to really quick get my NPM importer template. And, you can screenshot this if you like and, use some AI to turn it into text. And I'm going to copy that. And now we're going to go back inside of here. We want to load that JavaScript library using JavaScript inside of here. So for that, we're going to create an action. Let's call that Apex Chart. There you go. We'll create this. And now I'm just going to load my NPM script here, right? I want to copy the library and I'm going to paste this inside of here. And now let's keep looking at our documentation. So now that we have imported it, we need to, kind of like render the chart. So we got the options, we got the type, and we got some sample data here. That's good. And we can take, a later look at all the kind of like bells and whistles. But let's just do the basic initialization and then we can always customize it. So now inside of here, we're loading the script, and inside of here, this is where we're going to put the code to actually load it. Now our code is a little bit funky. So let's actually try formatting then. I forgot the shortcut to format it, so we'll skip the formatting for today. It's good enough. There you go. Now that we have the setup, that should be it. Actually, let's take a look at the code again. Yeah, we're doing this on a query selector. So we're using the query selector here in JavaScript to attach this to a div with a specific ID. So let's copy this ID. Let's keep that in mind, and let's go to the chart. And now on load lifecycle of this chart, I want to run this JavaScript, and then this div block inside of here should probably have an attribute of ID with chart. And there you go. Now we built our interactive chart. That's how simple that is, by the way. As you can see, I can click on the elements here and it works beautifully. There you go. That's how simple I can get that external web component working inside of Toddle. Now, it's not dynamic yet. We want to make it reusable, right? And we probably want to have some customizations also added inside of here. So for that, let's kind of like take a little bit more of a closer look inside of their documentation. So what's included? Let's go on their documentation. Most of the times you only get half of the documentation if you go to NPM, but it's kind of like TikTok for discovering, JavaScript packages that you can use. And then we will be able to get more information when we take a look in the developer's documentation. So let's take a look at what do we need? Events, interactivity, view the toolbar configuration. I don't think we need that. Chart types. We got a line chart. They look nice. So we got chart type, and we can just curve smooth, curve straight, like there you go, markers. Okay, so we got all the configuration going on here, and we can make them really look really nice. There you go. We can even do like nice gradient fades and all that kind of stuff. Very cool. Let's take a look at their bar charts. Yeah, that's probably what we're using. How about we do a line chart? And we probably want to allow the user to set those dynamically. So now that we know we have that kind of flexibility, that's good. Let's also take a little bit of a look when it comes to the colors. So we got some colors inside of here, setting colors of serious. Now I have no idea how that will work. So how about we take a closer look at the colors property inside of the code that we're using here to kind of like get a better idea on how we can let the users kind of like style things. So I have chart, I have serious, right? I got my chart type bar. Let's try just adding the color property inside of here, and let's see what happens. Let's try opening the chart component, and nothing much. There you go. Let's take a look back at the documentation. There you go. Let's actually take a look at some of the examples. No, they don't have examples. Okay, chart types. Let's take a look at the line chart. They do have some colors here. They got some code pen example. So let's take a look at the HTML, the JavaScript, and let's take a look. They got a height, they got a type, they got stacked faults. Let's take a look at colors. Let's do inspect elements. And we got colors. It's under labels, style, color. Okay, there you go. That's how we style those. Interesting. Okay. Now, ChatGPT and Claude are pretty good at reading documentation. So, a little shortcut. We can always piece this out together in our document with documentation, right? We got the markers property, and we would kind of like have to put them in there. I do like the idea of going with a shortcut that will also make sure our code is properly and nicely formatted. So let's say make it green, right? And we'll just put that code inside of here and let AI do its magic. There you go. I'm going to load that code, and now we do colors, change to green. Probably I shouldn't give it wrong code, so let's say make the apex chart green, and we'll just paste that inside of here. And let's remove this colors property because that is completely wrong. There you go. And we'll just paste the code. And let's take a look. And you can always piece those things out together if you don't want to use AI. But AI is very powerful when it comes to kind of like doing the heavy lifting for you. So how about we copy this and let's take a look if this gives us good enough of a customization that will make the chart look stunning. And now, as you can see, we got a few charts going on here. Oh, and now that one disappeared. But it did make it way more minimalist, which I think is actually a good thing. So ChatGPT did do some magic, but it renders it twice. So let's take a look at the code. That's fun. Let's really quick take a look at the JavaScript here. So we got the options. We got that. Create container if it doesn't exist. Okay, that's a terrible idea. We already have that container, and then execute. I don't think that is needed because if we take a look at their documentation on getting started on installation, right? on creating your first chart, we're just doing new Apex chart with the options, right? So we're just doing chart.render. So we probably want to default back to that method. So inside of here, we do new chart render. Yeah, that should stay the way it is, but it seems like we have it wrapped in another function, which is something that we don't necessarily need. So let's remove that and let's see where that function is coming from. Execute chart. There is no function called execute chart. Let's do execute. Yeah, there is none. So we don't need to run it again because we already are rendering it, and that's going to be sufficient enough. So we don't have two. There you go. And now we only have one. There you go. That's nice. Look at that. What a beauty. Looks beautiful. Nice. So now let's really quick go back to this chart here, and let's go to the code inside of here. We got using a palette that works well with green. Okay, we'll explore those things a little bit more. One thing that I saw is it says sales chart with a title. We probably just want to remove the whole title thing because I don't like the title. We can just add that custom, and that's kind of like how we get rid of the title, because we kind of like just want to be able to embed that inside of our application. Now, one thing that bugs me a little bit is the download CSV and those options. I think it could be useful, right? I think I can see this being useful and cool, but we probably want to have an option for the user to keep it or remove it. That's always when we want to build packages. We want to keep that as, kind of like as universal as possible. So let's say, how do I remove the 3 lines settings on the top right? I'm sure we can also find that in their documentation under design. Themes, chart types, integrations, options, methods. Sometimes it's easier to just take a look at ChatGPT. Toolbar, show false. Okay, setting show false. Okay, it's actually quite simple. So it's just toolbar show false. So let's take a look. Where's toolbar? Toolbar. And we can just copy this piece of code inside of here. So let's go back to our code inside of the custom action in Toddle. And let's take a look. Do we have toolbar in here? Nope. So I should be able, let's see where they place it. I should be able to just place it in the chart object. So let's just go in the chart, and I'm going to do toolbar. Of course, we need to make sure it's properly formatted. There you go, toolbar. There you go, we can remove the comment. Toolbar, false. There you go. And now we should not have the toolbar. Let's take a look. When we open the chart, still has the toolbar. So let's take a look at the code here again. We got a bar chart. We got the toolbar. This removes the toolbar. It's in the chart object. So let's see. Let's go back to the code. Sometimes it helps if you just paste the ChatGPT code. Oh, actually, it's not in the chart object. You see, the chart object is in here. The toolbar is outside of the chart object. So we want to move it into the chart object. There you go. Now this should work. And I need to remove the comma at the end. So let's take a look if that did it. Let's take a look at the chart. And yeah, I did remove it. There you go. So, code is actually quite simple. It's just looking at the documentation. If you got good documentation, things are easy to work with. So now I'm curious to see how this looks as a line chart, because maybe that is, all the customization that we need. So let's take a look. Let's make this line. And let's go inside of here on the chart component. And we got a beautiful line chart, but I do want to have some sort of curve going on when I do a line chart. So in their documentation, I think we have it under design. We should be able to take a look at themes, right? No, that's palette 1, palette 2, palette 3. Oh, it's nice though. And let's take a look at line chart. There you go. And I see we got stroke, curve, smooth. So let's go real quick in here. Let's see if we have the stroke property. Theme, palette, data levels. No. So let's see where we want to add that inside of here. So we got stroke, smooth. So we probably need to put that in the chart object, I would assume. Let's take a look. Do they? Yeah, they do have some code pen example. So let's take a look. Where do they have the stroke property? Yeah, we have stroke, and that is in series, but I think that's the wrong stroke. Let's take a look. There you go. Okay, we'll guess a little bit, or we'll ask ChatGPT where to put. And let's take a look. The stroke property, where does it place it? It's not in the chart object. It's in the series. Okay, it's in the series array here, and it just got the array in the series object here. That's the data. And then we have the x-axis, and then we have the stroke. So it is under colors. Okay, there you go. So let's take a look at colors. Where did we put the colors? And, you know, we can just put it in here, format it, of course. Let's just format this beautifully. And now we should be able to simply just add a comma after it. And there you go. So now how about we take a look at this chart, and we got it nicely curved. There you go. It's maybe a little bit too curvy. So let's take a look in how we curve that. We got smooth, step line, markers. We don't really need markers, I would assume. But we could toggle those things off and on. So markers size 0 will probably be added under it, right? There you go. We got markers. Okay. I think we're good on that front. So there you go. That's a pretty basic chart that we can get inside of here, nicely rendered. And now, of course, there are things like light and dark mode that we probably want to look into. So let's ask Claude real quick, how should we handle light/dark mode? Let's see how we do that. We probably need to bring some CSS to the party, or maybe not. Let's see. Yeah, we would run that function and then just set a different mode. Yeah, it's basically how we initialize the colors. Let's say how to make the text in the chart and the background color, how to make the text in the chart inherit and the background color transparent. Only give me code for that, because when people use this component, they probably have it behind a pink background or a blue one, and you kind of like want to have it adapt to where it's already in. And I assume that the way we will do that is by using CSS, but we'll see. Let's take a look. Changed color, added color inherit for the title style to ensure. What about the X and Y names like 1970, etc.? Let's take a look. How would we style those to inherit the styling? And we got style, color, inherit. We should be able to just use the inherit property. So let's go back to the code and let's go to style. Oh, we don't even have styling for those. So let's take a look at the X series, and we got the series here. So let's look at the code. We got X series here, and we got the category data. We should be able to just copy that over. So let's just move this inside of here. There you go. We will format that later. And then let's go back inside of here, and let's take the Y, and we'll just move the Y under here. So we'll just paste this, add a comma, and now it should inherit it. So let's take a look at the chart. That's nice. So what happens if I go to the chart and we're going to do text, and we'll make the text red? Not really inheriting it. It's good enough for a free package though. You could just add invert filter on it, or you can customize it and clone it. So there you go. Now we got those things all set up inside of here. So how about we just ask AI to format our text. Format this code, and then we should be able to kind of like customize a few other things inside of here. And let's actually say make the chart purple, because that is usually that's usually the color is sass, always sass. So we'll just make it purple, and then we'll kind of like let people override that. So let's copy that inside of here, and now I should be able to just paste the code, and there we have it. We got a line chart, and now the idea is we want to let the user customize those things. So let's go to the arguments here, and first of all, we kind of like want to have like the X and the Y data. So let's do Y data, or actually let's do Y name, and that will be a string. That will be inside of here. That will be the sales, and then we have the data. So first, that will be the name will be Y string. So let's just go inside of here. Y. Let's just call it Y, and then we just do or args dot Y name. And we probably want to do camel case, so it actually works. There you go. args.y name. So now if we don't have this value set, we'll take the y, and if we do have it, we'll take the args.y name. We'll do the same thing with the data, where we can have this fake data set here, right? And we just do or we could just have a placeholder of sales actually if we want. And then if the argument is set, so let's do y data, and that will be a list, right? And then we just do args dot y data, because then if this exists, it'll take this, and if this doesn't exist, it'll take this. That's how it works in JavaScript. And actually, it's not y name, it needs to be y data. There you go. Now we want to do the same thing with the categories here. We got they don't have a name, right? There you go. Let's take a look at the chart again real quick. It looks nice. It's purple. It doesn't even have a name. I think we get it on hover. Yeah, we get it on hover. There you go. So nice chart. Take a look at that. Very cool. And actually, they could change the colors of the chart when, they could change the colors of the chart when kind of like they move their modes in their UI. So we can outsource that problem of changing the color to the user, kind of like. But we probably need to do a little bit more optimizations for that to work at the end. But let's take a look. Let's go to categories here. That is the data on the X. So we'll actually keep this, but we'll do an or, and then we're going to add, let's do X name. We'll add that as a string, and we'll do X data, and we'll add that as a list. And now inside of here, we're going to add args.xData. And there's actually no x name, I forgot that. There's only a y name, so we can just have that going on here. That's completely fine. There you go. So now we're getting the x data. Sounds like an API made by Twitter. There you go. So now we got the inherit, we can keep that, and then we got the color. That's the purple color. Now, those are the colors. They can add multiple ones, but we can just hard code this for them, and then they can always clone the package if they want. Or actually, we could allow an unknown input so that they kind of like can override it. But it's probably not, it's probably better when building a package to add a little bit of abstraction to it, so it's easier for the user. So I'm just going to put this in an array here and just receive the color. And I'm going to receive the color as a string, and I'm going to put args.color inside of here, and that'll be the color. And then inside of here, where we need the color as well, I'll just also add args.color. Let's see, palette 3 seems to be working well anyway. And we also have light and dark mode. So there you go. Actually, that's how we handle it. So let's go inside of your mode. That'll be a string. Sometimes it makes sense to take a look at the code, you know? There you go. And let's just go inside of here on the light, and we'll just do an OR. And then we're going to do args.mode, right? If the mode is defined, we'll override it. Then I made a little mistake here on args color. I want to bring actually the hex code back, the color, because we need to have a default color. So I'm going to put the code inside of here, and I'm going to add or args color. Oh, there you go. There you go. So I got the color in here, and I have my or. So we got a default, and we got the dynamic value. We probably want to keep it as it is. Actually, shade 2, was that light? Or were there multiple things that were light? Yeah, it was light. Okay, so there are a few modes. So we probably will be able to just copy this piece of code and move it inside of here when it comes to the mode of the theme. Mode. There you go. So that should work. We'll see. And then we just do the chart render, and then that should render our chart. So now we have those things dynamic, and let's go back to our chart. Still works. That's a good sign. There you go. Looks nice. Take a look at that. It's even responsive. Nice. And now we can customize some of the things, right? I'm more concerned about the mode, so let's do dark. And let's reload the component, because we don't have a update method already set. And the mode is not working well. Okay. We'll see. Let's go to the documentation. And let's take a look here. We got shade 2 mode. Let's say, how would I set dark mode? Using this question mark, and we'll see how their API works. Theme.mode. This would do dark. So I'm curious why it doesn't do the dark mode part. Let's take a look. I got the mode. Mode is dark. Let's double check. Let's just try updating the default then. Maybe we got some other issue inside of here. So let's do mode dark. Let's take a look. Let's open the chart. Okay, now it works nice. So interesting. This is mode dark, right? It should override it. So let's take a look. Let's go here. Let's go to the mode, and let's do default light, and then we got args mode. So let's do args.mode. There you go. And let's take a look at the chart. Interesting. Actually, I know why it's not working. My bad. In JavaScript, we have to put them in braces. for those operators to work? No, we don't. Okay. Then how about ChatGPT tells me what I'm doing wrong here? Let's see our Claude. What am I doing wrong? You're trying to set the value using OR operator, but the syntax is slightly off. The issue is that light will always evaluate as trustworthy, so the expression light will always return light regardless of what's in args mode. Here's how to fix it. No, so instead of you should use args mode, oh, so I don't need to put them in brackets, I just have it the wrong way. Okay, that's cool. There you go. You always learn something new every day. And that should fix it. So inside of the mode, inside of here, we want to do the same thing, and then we want to reverse those as well here. So let's just add this one here too. There you go. And then we got the args mode here. That works nice. And now we just need to move this a little bit back. So we got the args mode first, and then we do OR, and then we paste that. There you go. We got the smooth. We probably also want to make that dynamic, but I think I got it all. It's just we need to move one more thing. There you go. We'll paste this inside of here. We'll add an OR. There you go. And now we want to do curve. We can go inside of here, and we can do line, curve, and let's actually start with chart type, and that will be a string. We want to do this type dynamic. So the first operator will be args dot chart type, or, right? So like if this is not available, we'll default back to line. There you go. And now we can also do the toolbar part in the template, and then we can go inside of here and go on the curve, and we're going to do line curve, and we'll add this as a string, and we'll do args dot line curve, and we do the OR, so we have our default value to smooth, and that should do the thing. There you go. So now we have the value inside of here. The default is light, but if I open this, there you go. As you can see, it should be dark. There you go. Nice. So now we want to take a look at the colors of the labels. We have the colors. Let's try making them white. And let's take a look. And we got them white here, so that actually looks really nice. But you know, we kind of like want to have this based on the mode. On the mode, actually the mode should be a string, not a list. So how about we go inside of here and we kind of like make an if statement. We'll do if, let's do mode equals light, then we're going to const, let's do mode, and I need to do actually args.mode, there you go, if args.mode, then I'm going to define the const mode equals, there you go, let's see, I don't need to make a big if statement. I could make a small one if ChatGPT helps me with the syntax. Let's take a look at that. I got white colors. Let's see. Because I think we could just reverse it in what the mode we're getting. Let's see. How do I make an if statement if mode equals white, return black, and vice versa? Let's take a look. ChatGPT is great. It's super simple. It already knows what I'm trying to do here. There you go. Arc.mode. Isn't that smart, the AI? Take a look. Already knows what I'm doing. Let's just copy that. There you go. Let's go to the colors of the style. And let's put that inside of here. Let's see if that does the work. Very nice. So now I should be able to change this to be light. And I should be able to reload the page, and the text should be dark. Very nice. Take a look at that. Very cool. Got it dark. I can do chart type. I can do a bar chart, and then I should be able to reload, and I should have a bar chart. Yes. Very nice. Look at that. And let's do mode light, and then we should have a light bar chart. There you go. Very nice. Very nice. Looks beautiful. And then I got my hover, and I can take a look at them. Very cool. Look at that. So we got a nice, simple chart going on inside of here. And now there are a few other things that we want to set up. So let's take a look at the code. Is there any other code we need to do? They may want to show the toolbar. So let's do show toolbar. That will be unknown. That will be the value type for a Boolean. And then I'm going to do args.show toolbar, or we're going to do default of false. There you go. Now this looks good. It seems like we got it all set up here. There you go. Nice and easy. And now we want to export this action. That's very important because this will be part of the component that we're trying to export to render that element. Now I want to give it a name so we know what it's doing. Let's call this render apex chart using JavaScript SDK. There you go. Render apex chart using JavaScript SDK. We'll go to our chart component. We got it on load. And now we kind of like want to get those attributes set up so it is reusable across multiple pages. So let's really quick get my iPhone going, and let's just make a photo of that here, and then I can just use this to kind of like know what I'm doing, right? Because no way I can remember all of them. So let's create some attributes for this. And we probably end up, when we update an attribute, having 5 charts under each other, because it probably gets reinitialized all the time. It happens with most of the modern SDKs, so we probably need to implement some destroy, kind of like and then re-render the whole thing, but we'll take a look at that. And we probably end up implementing a unique identification system so we can have multiple charts on one page without breaking the page, right? That's very important when you work with those things, that you really plan those things out, that you kind of like have to plan people to use your package to not be how you want it to be used. That usually happens all the time. But let's go in here, name, right? And we'll add a sample name inside of here. Let's call that NoCode Pro Code, right? Advertisement, right? You can join today for only $129. It will be the best investment in your no-code career. You get daily office hours 5 times a week, and you get access to exclusive courses and over 200 hours of educational content. There you go. There's little advertisements in the middle of those great videos. Keep this whole thing running. Thank you so much. So we got that all inside of here. And now we want to do the Y data. So let's add Y data here. And how about we just snatch the data here for the sales real quick. And we're going to put this in the attribute. There you go. We got a nice sample value in the attribute. And then we got X data. There you go. Now we should be able to add a test value inside of here. So let's just take the data, and we probably want to, we can just keep it. Let's go inside of here. Let's paste that. There you go. Well enough. Like, it's in the past, but you know, I already got the data set. So now we got the data. The next thing is the color. So we want to put the color inside of here. Now, I don't mesmerize the color, so we need to snatch that from here as well. Let's paste that inside of here. Okay, 1 second. Okay, there you go. And now I got the color. Now we need to take the mode. I'll do mode. The default will be light. There you go. And now we got the chart type. So we'll take chart type. We'll do line because they look very nice. We do a line chart. And then we got mode and we got chart type. Let's do line curve. Line curve. Let's do smooth. There you go. We got a smooth line curve. And then we got show toolbar. Show toolbar. There you go. Show toolbar. And that will be false. Now we got all those attributes set up for our custom component. And now we just link them with the action to initialize the Apex chart. So we take a Y name. There you go. And we'll take Y data. There you go. We got that all set up. We take X data, right? And then we'll take the color attribute. And now we'll take the mode. We got the mode going on. And then we'll take the chart type. We got a line chart here. We take the curve. We got the line curve. And then we got the toolbar. And we'll take the toolbar. There you go. So now if you reload this, it should work with the data that we're setting in the attributes. Nice. There you go. Looks beautiful. So now that we got this all set up inside of here, we probably also, when we create a package, want to export this component as a package. Now, what we probably want to do, because what we run inside of here will probably be the same like the onAttribute change. We'll just copy this for now and just move this also in the attribute change event. And then I will be attempting to go to my homepage here in the demo element here. And we will just go inside of here and put the chart inside of here. And it should be a nice chart. Let's make it width 100%. There you go. Looks nice. Let's just go in here and remove that. And let's just make sure we have it clip. And we do clip. Nice. Now we got the chart. I see there's some padding we got to work with, but we'll do one thing at a time. And now we want to give this, we don't have an inherit anymore. So let's try changing a type to bar. And it actually nicely re-renders the chart. So it's already taking care of that, which is nice. Let's do color pink. Yeah, we need an hex code. So let's make it actually black. Let's make it look like Chetzy NUI. Let's do color. That should be black. Nice. Line curve. Smooth. There you go. Mode. Let's do dark because it's in Toddle. And then actually probably want to be making it white. F. Too many Fs. There you go. Now we got it in white. Looks really nice. Show toolbar false. We already got the sample data. As you can see, it looks beautiful. So now what happens if we do the mode light? And yeah, it automatically switches. It's just the bar is now light. So you see now we got the colors. Works beautifully, but mode should be dark because it is in the Toddle editor and kind of like got a dark vibe going on. And then we can make the data dynamic, or we can go at least here in the Y name and we can call that toddlers. There you go. So now as you can see, we got 50 toddlers, 49 toddlers, and you can kind of like see the toddlers going up over the past 20 years. Or 25 or 30 almost. Yeah, 30. There you go. And now we can have dynamic data sets, so they can come from a variable, and when they update, you see the chart re-renders, which is quite cool. So let's kind of like ask AI, create two data sets with X and Y values in arrays. And then we can kind of like use them to kind of like make a dynamic switch to kind of like illustrate what that package can do. So let's create a variable. Let's do Y. And let's do another one called X. And we're going to put that inside of here. And then we'll go in here and we'll bind the Y data with the Y data. And we'll bind the X data. Oh, wrong. Yeah, X is with X and Y needs to be with Y. Now it's still rendering it, which is not supposed to happen. So that's probably something where we want to double check on. My assumption is, okay, it shouldn't do that. So there's something hard-coded that's not properly working. We'll fix it. So while the AI is doing its job, and it's actually doing a nice job here, very nice, we want to take a look at our code again in the component. And you know, this was kind of like my fear is we are re-rendering, we're not destroying the chart if the code runs again. So let's take a look. Let's ask it how to destroy the existing chart to render it again with new data. Right? There is probably also something in the documentation. Let's do destroy. Right? There's probably a method to, we got render. Let's take a look. Destroy. Yeah, and we got the destroy function. So we should be able to run chart.destroy. So there you go. Chart.destroy. Removes the SVG that belongs to the chart instance. Let's take a look at the code here. New chart data, we can do chart.destroy. Okay, so the thing is, if chart is already defined, we should be able to run chart.destroy. So actually, before this code runs in the initialization here, when the SDK, maybe even before the SDK was loaded, right? We should be able to simply run chart.destroy to clean out the chart when data changes. That should work. Let's take a look inside of here. Chart.destroy, and it's a function actually, so we need to call it as a function. And because chart is already defined, we don't need to run the upper line of code more than likely. Let's take a look if that does the thing. So it's destroying the chart. Okay, maybe we got a timing issue. Okay, it seems like the destroy part is working, because if I'm going to comment it out here, right? It's working. So the destroying part is good. It's just maybe not well appropriate, maybe a little bit too early, because I do want to run it if already a chart exists. Let's try putting it all the way up here before that even loads. And we see there's no component going on. Let's take a look. Let's go to the chart page. Yeah, it's not doing that. So let's take a look. We probably want to make the code either smarter, or we can create a separate action. But we could also do if chart, do chart.destroy if a chart already exists. So let's try that one. So because right now we wouldn't have a chart on the first load, so it wouldn't destroy it. Technically on the first load, we'll take a look, we'll re-render this. No, it's not doing that. So basically it's on attribute change when we do the chart. Let's take a look. Let's say I want to destroy all old ones and then render the new one with updated data. Let's take a look. Destroy. Let's say I need to destroy the one with a specific ID. There you go. We'll put that all inside of here. Let's take a look. Okay, now it's going to be a little bit more complicated. Container ID, okay. Just give me this destroy if with ID exists as a short separate code snippet, right? Because we kind of like want to just get an idea what the AI thinks. Get chart by ID, try to get the chart by ID, chart, get chart by ID, destroy chart by ID, there you go. We should be able to take this, destroy my chart, and this code, let's go back here. Oh, my computer is getting all frozen up here, okay. Cool down. Okay, oh, damn it. Gotta close some things. Force quit. Let's close Discord. Take some power. And not Tella. No, I can't do that. Let's close that part here. Let's close that. And let's close Zoom. All the high maintenance applications. Still slow. Okay, how about we just close all this stuff going on here. We'll close the framer side, and I'm using normal components and the Toddle editor is killing my MacBook Air already. Take a look at that. Unbelievable. We'll copy that here and now we'll do manual code. There you go. So let's go into the Apex chart here. And now we kind of like want to take a look at the code that we can write inside of here. So we try to get the chart. If found, we want to destroy it. The container ID right now is just chart actually. So it's chart in a string. If found, we need to destroy it. We want to remove that one and then probably format it a little bit. There you go. Nice. Okay. I do like formatting, even though people don't do that with their code, but I do like it. Looks nice. Chart in container has been destroyed. So let's see. We now want to see if there's a chart already in the container. It's not rendering. Nice. Let's see. Unload. We're loading it, but let's take a look. The console is probably going to talk to us because we have some console logs in there. Let's take a look. Error in custom action. Apex charts, it's not defined. Ooh, that's why it's not working. Because we're running the code too late. Let's take a look. Let's close this. Let's try moving this a little bit more down. There you go. Oh, actually, we need to first need to do, but then it doesn't make sense to. It doesn't make sense then if we're kind of like running it after. So let's create a new chat with Claude, right? Let's say I have this code and it works well. That's my prompt. It always works, but I'm using a NoCode tool, because there's no way I'm going to make a second action just to clear it out. I like having it everything in one. So, you know, that's where prompt engineering kicks in. I have this code and it works well, but I'm using a NoCode tool. So I have to run the whole code, which I don't have to. I want to run the whole code, but the AI doesn't need to know. But I'm using a NoCode tool, so I have to run the whole code, the whole code here again and again when I want to update data in the chart. But the issue is it generates multiple charts under each other. Especially when working with Apex chart, there is a small chance that this is not our problem at all, and that we kind of like messed something up when it comes to rendering the data, which that's exactly what's happening here. Because if we take a look at args.data, it needs to be the first one, because we need to look if this is defined, right? Remember? So we want to copy that here. That's programming. Sometimes, you know, the obvious things are right in front of you and you don't see them. But that should fix it, because now we're looking if this exists, then if not, we take this, and if this exists, we take it. So let's go back to the core page, and now we see we should have an empty chart, which is quite nice. And I think there is a chance that the library is taking care of that. It's just we get multiple under each other because we have the same ID, and for that we want to kind of like build in a smart mechanism to kind of like keep track of that. But I do have a Zoom meeting that I forgot that I have that is already 10 minutes overdue. So now I'm back, and now we want to take a look at this again. So inside of this chart here, as we can see, we have that data set, and now it's actually representing that empty data set. So how about we go now inside of this div block here, and we will add a button, and this button will kind of like set the data. So we'll call that set data. There you go. And now this button will kind of like have an action to update the data. And then we should see if this also updates the representation of the chart. So let's go to the Y and let's go to the X. There you go. So now we already have some data sets. Let's go to the old chat from the AI with the two data sets. I think it gave us two data sets somewhere. I think that's, I was, let's do give me two chart.js data sets for two different analytics. There you go. And we'll put that inside of here, and let's take a look, because they both have similar formats. So we got the labels and then we got the data. So let's take, it's still loading. Yeah, I don't need the code. Okay, let's copy the JSON here, the array of the first data set. And do we have a random? Branch name, range, random number. And then we can do, let's just set one data set. We don't need to make it too complicated. So we'll just paste this here. Oh, I think I copied the JavaScript. Yeah, I copied the wrong thing. Let's copy that. There you go. And this one will be hard coded. That will be the, here you go. That should be the X one. So we should be able to, it's not valid JSON. I need to put it into, let's see. I need them as JSON. Let's take a look at that, because we need to provide it with JSON, otherwise Toddle can parse it. That is JSON, yes, that one. Let's copy this. Wrong one. Let's copy this. And now we're going to paste this. There you go. So now we can just remove the string properties. We don't need them. There you go. And let's take a look. So if I click on here, oh yeah, we'll have some work to do with the destroy stuff. There you go. We'll click this. We got the X thing going on. And then we want to set also the Y stuff. There you go. And now we got the data. Actually, I took the wrong one, but that should be fine because they both go till December. There you go. So now we should be able to put that inside of here. And now, as you can see, we got the data. But I should be able to just paste it in here as well. There you go. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's good. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, there you go. So that's good. It's quite funky when I set the data, but we also didn't update the data set. So we kind of like need to figure out a way how we can update the data. And that is probably actually, you know, we got the chart, but you know, like you see like setting the data. Now if I take a look at the data, we got the data set, but we don't have the full data inside of here. But then when I take, you know, a look at here, I'm kind of like rendering two at the same time. So the issue is actually not the ID. The issue is inside of here in how it's rendered. Let's try opening this in the browser because we need to clear the chart. Yeah, you see, it does have a rendering issue. So let's bring this code that we have inside of here back into our AI friend, and we want to take a look at that. So let's go back to Claude. Actually, let's take a look at the initial code. Let's say I have this code and it works well, but I'm using a NoCode tool, so I have to run the whole code here again. Let's say here is the latest code. Please make it work when running again to update the chart data. There you go. So it now knows kind of like that we need to run this code again and again and again and again and again and to kind of like wipe out that chart, and it should kind of like, you know, set that up. Let's say follow Apex charts library best practices when updating the chart, please. So, you know, we use like the methods that API, that SDK requires us to use. That kind of like makes it a little bit better. So inside of here, we'll create the script and we're appending that. It does add some animations. I don't know if we need them, but you know, it's nice. So let's take a look. I completely understand global chart instance, windows.chart instance, so it can be properly updated. Make sure that this is bound to the ID, as I will have multiple charts on one page with different IDs, right? That's important. You want to name that to AI because probably when people use your package, they'll, you know, end up, you know, having, you know, multiple IDs. Get the ID from the charts arcs or use default. That's good. So we can add a chart ID to that process here. And it seems like actually Claude is draining my computer resources quite well. Let's see. Oh, wait a little bit. There you go. think Claude froze. Okay, kind of like actually now create an API that wraps around it. So if we do take a look at that, we're setting the ID, we're loading the script, we're setting those things, show toolbar, that is all working well. We got the sales, we got the data, and then when we do the query selector, we'll take the chart ID that comes from all the way up here, right? That looks nice. We got the chart ID, there you go. And then we're taking a look if that chart exists, and then we're going to do window.chart instances, and then we're going to update series, and we're going to update that based on the chart with the ID, and then clear container contents if needed. Let's see, this should work nicely. So it should also be optimized to allow multiple charts on your page. So let's see if that works. Now I just need to add a chart ID inside of here. So we set the chart ID, initialize chart. I don't think this is kind of like how it should be. Let's say the args only need to be imported on the top function. You can access them inside of that. Every code should be written inside of, and now we need to take the top function, and that's the top function. Put that inside of here. There you go. And now it should kind of like update that to work with Toddle's parameters. We define the ID, we load the script using JavaScript. We check if the script is already being loaded, which is smart. It did add that, that makes sense. Now we will, wait a little bit and see what else it's going to do for us. So let's take a look. That looks smart. Let's paste that inside of Toddle. There you go. And now let's see, we got Apex charts. We kind of like append this on the windows, probably what we generally always need to use when we do things in NoCode tools. We need to create a new args, that's for the ID, that'll be a string, right? And then we got that, we're appending that, we're loading this, and then we're updating stuff. So let's take a look, let's open the chart. Chart still works, that's a good sign. And I got the chart ID on here, right? That's called chart. And then I need to go on load, and I want to put this chart ID. Let's just hard code that for now. Let's take a look, because already chart ID is default, so that should be fine. Nice. Okay, so let's see. Let's add an ID element inside of here. Default will be chart. Actually, we won't pass on the ID. We'll handle that internally inside of the component, so we'll make it smart. I like smart stuff. So let's open this. We see we got the chart rendered, and now we're setting the data. That is nice, and it seems to work. So let's try set data, and let's duplicate this, and then I want to do wipe data. So let's duplicate this, and let's go inside of here, and let's update this to just make it an empty array. Right? And then we'll go inside of here, we'll make this also an empty array. There you go. So now we will call that wipe data. Okay, let's try opening that. And now we will set data, we'll wipe data, set data, wipe data, set data, wipe data, set data, wipe data. That works nice. Now, it's not transitioning nicely. So let's say works amazing, but changing data sets does not nicely animate. And then we'll try to solve this now with the help of AI. There you go. And it did make some updates here where it kind of like used the update options, and then it did do, okay, so it did do an update. Enhance animation settings. Now the chart options are updated first without changing the data. Okay, let's copy this and let's try that code inside of Toddle and let's see if that. So let's paste that inside of here. There you go. And now let's go to the home page. And let's open that page here and we should be able to close that. And yeah, my computer doesn't like running Toddle and Claude at the same time. So let's set the data. Yeah, it's not transitioning nicely. So let's go back to Claude. And wow, this is like draining my resources, really. I hope we're not doing too complex stuff here. But let's say updating the data sets is too fast. There is no animation. Please use the native Apex chart update functionality. Okay, now we sent that. And then, you know, we'll wait till AI comes up with a good solution. Let's see. Now we're only using the update series method without the animation parameter set to true. This lets Apex chart handle the transition nicely. Adjusted animation settings. Let's try a look at that. I assume it will not do the update as we want it to be. I think it will still look ugly, but let's take a look at that because I do see how this is wiping out the HTML. I'm curious if I remove this, if the update will even work. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the page, right? And we set the data and we'll wipe out the data. So the update does work, right? The question is, does Apex chart even have nice animated updates? That's a good question. We don't know, right? So the wiping out of the data, that's not doing it. So let's see, use Apex chart native series updates. So we do update series and we're adding the name and we're putting the data in. So it's using the native update part, right? If container, clear container comments if needed, if chart container. Okay, so it seems like we can keep that. It's not breaking. It's probably like kind of like to improve things. Create new chart instance. If chart already exists, let's say still no data update animation. Please find a way. And then in the meantime, we'll take a look at Apex charts. Apex charts data update. Let's take a look, because if we can feed some examples, we'll see. There is a get JSON method, but we're trying to load the data outside of it. So let's take a look. How to refresh new data in Apex charts. Stack Overflow got some cool stuff going on. You need update series. Let's take a look. It's probably already scraping the information from Stack Overflow. Let's take a look at methods. Let's do render. We got update series. Let's see. This is their documentation. Let's say here are their docs. And we'll put that inside of here. In the meantime, we'll try the latest code it gave us, and we'll see if that did improve something, right? So we'll paste this inside of here. And now we should be able to reload the page and see if this allows us to Nice. Nice. Take a look, it's animating. My computer is slow as hell, but like, look at that. Nice. It's not animating out, but I do take this as a win. Nice. Looks very nice. Nice, 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 nice. So now what happens when they kind of like animate down? That's probably something I want to take a look at. Let's take a look. It did update some of the code, so let's copy the latest code it gave us and let's take a look at that again. Let's delete this, paste this inside of here, and let's reload the page. Let's take a look. So now I'm setting the data, wiping out the data. Okay, not every time AI gives us code means we are improving, but this does a destroy. If an existing chart instant destroy to ensure animations work properly. So we do the destroy, and that's doing the animation part. Okay, that one seems to work. Now what happens if we kind of like set it to different numbers? So I do kind of like want it to animate nicely. So set other data. Okay, and we go inside of this action and we'll take the Y and we add different numbers. We just, you know, make a little bit, let's do 6,000 and we'll do 5,000. And then we'll keep those and then we go inside of here. This is 4,000. That's a bad month. And then we do 10,000. And then we'll do 3,000. Okay, so it looks different. Let's take a look at that. So now I'm setting the data, and now I'm setting different data. That's good enough. It doesn't really need to transition, but this is good enough. I do have some nice transitions because we're clearing out that chart. So now that AI touched quite some of our code, we want to, you know, take a look and see if it's still good. Yeah, I did do the chart ID. That seems all fine. Yeah, that looks good. So now what we can do is we kind of like want to implement a unique UUID process and do some other updates. So let's reload this component. And let's go in here. And the height of the chart is not 100%. So for that, we probably want to take a look at the code, not column width, because there is the parameter to set the height. Let's go back to Claude and let's say this works amazing in my NoCode tool, but how can I have the chart height be 100%? Okay. Because so like it kind of like stretches it and makes it look nice. So let's take a look at that. I do think Claude is kind of like draining the resources, even though I have a new M3, or M4 is now the new one, but I have an M3 Mac and it should work great. So yeah. AI is probably not made for AI. I should use probably the desktop app. Maybe that's going to improve it. We'll see. But yeah, let's see if that works properly. Let's copy that. Let's paste this. And my idea is to have the component be 100%, just like that. Very nice, because then we can use style variables on the chart itself, you know, like styling, to, you know, set its height to kind of like make that more user-friendly for the user when they use our component. So they can simply go inside of here in this chart and make height 35 rem, or not width, height 25 rem. right? And then like width 100%. And then I probably want to update this one to be height. Let's do actually that 35 rem. That makes more sense. That's actually 25 rem. And then this one should be height 100% because it's a component. There you go. That's how I should do it. Nice. And then I can set my data. I can set other data. And I got nice animations. Take a look at that. Now, they all have an ID. Now, generally speaking, I see some packages, they let you put an ID inside of here. Now, I like a different approach. I like an approach where the component itself automatically assigns an ID. For that, we can kind of like create a function that handles that for us. So let's go here to our formulas and let's create a formula called UUID. And then we are going to move that to custom code. And we're going to go on the next line here. And we're going to go return crypto.getRandomUUID as a function. We want to export that with the package. We go to the chart. And then what we need to do is we simply need, you probably want to adjust the naming. If people already have a UUID formula, it could potentially break that. So let's rename that actually. Rename chart UUID. There you go. Oh, we can't have that name, so we need to do camel case. Chart UUID. There you go. Let's go to the chart, and now we go on the life cycle, and that's where we will generate that. So let's go on variables. Let's create a variable called ID that'll start out as an empty string. And then on load inside of here, we'll set the ID with the formula of the UUID, right? So now we got the variable set on load of that component to create the life cycle. Then when we initialize the chart, we'll take the variable with the ID. That's how we target that chart. And when we update that chart on attribute change, when the underlying structure of that chart changes, we're going to then update the variable based on the ID. So now when we load this, we should have an ID generated, and that's where we update it, right? Now, we also need to go to this div block here and make its ID attribute dynamic, because right now we're not looking for the chart ID anymore. We're looking for this unique UUID that was generated for this component session. So let's go on FX here, and let's go and let's bind this with the variable. So now I should be able to reload, and if hopefully everything works, we should see the chart. There you go. So that's how we create a new session, kind of like a new life cycle for each element, and kind of like make multiple work on one page. So if I now go inside of here, and if we do change, it seems to have some issues when it renders. So that's something probably where we want to keep a little bit of an eye on. But now I should be able to set the data, right? And it should beautifully work. And I should be able to, I should be able to duplicate that element. Right now they have the same data. Let's actually move it over for now. Maybe move it here. Let's go back. Yeah, so when the page reloads, it kind of like messes things up. That's probably something we want to keep an eye on. But let's take a look at this. Let's just duplicate the whole demo section. And let's see what happens when we have two demo sections here. And let's duplicate that. If two of them can render at the same page. There you go. Now, as you can see, actually only one renders, which is a problem because it should support multiple rendering. Now, this should have a different ID than this one. So it should work. So we need to take a look at this code again that we're importing because it should support multiple chart instances. So let's go back to Claude. Let's say this does not support multiple chart instances on one page. The code here would run with an ID for one element on the page /chart, and another chart would run this exact same code but for its own ID. Make work. There you go. And now we'll lean back and we'll trust AI to solve our problems. There you go. So it's smart, and you know, it does some of the work. This is where we kind of like want to add a little bit of abstraction, so it kind of like simplifies when working with it. That's what I like to do. Of course, when you work with things, it makes the code longer, it adds more complexity to things, but I do think it kind of like makes it simpler if those things are used within the constraints that they're intended of being used in. So let's take a look. Oh yeah, it does generate that kind of stuff, but I don't like that. Where it creates the example usage. I need it so the I need it so the whole code here can run with multiple IDs for multiple charts multiple times, and it works, and all the charts have their own data, etc. This is the limitation that the NoCode tool I work in has. Toddle doesn't have the limitation. You can make multiple actions doing those things. You can work with logic to track those things. But for the sake of ease of use and simplicity, I like pretending that Toddle has limitations to the AI, so I get code that's a little bit smarter, so I have to use less functions, and the AI does more of the work for me. Because at the end of the day, I do like things that are simple. And the code may not be simple, but use of that code will be simple. So now, this should do the thing. Let's see. Now probably checks if chart instances is undefined, made render chart, accept the chart ID and arcs. This should also improve that when we move into the views, possibly, that they disappear. We'll see. Let's open the component. It renders. That's a good sign. Let's go to the home page. And you see both of them render. That's nice. Let's set the data on both. You see the data is set on both. But now, what happens if we create another variable? So we do x1, that will be an empty array, and we will create y1, that will be an empty array, right? There you go. That's kind of like how I want to test things. And that's 1, so we'll make this 1. So this will be x1, and this will be y1. There you go. And then when I go inside of here and set the data, we want to copy this y real quick, but we want to make it y1. So y1, and then we want to paste it inside of here. And then we want to go to x, and we want to copy x, and want to copy and put x1 inside of here to kind of like test all the scenarios that you could test. Let's copy this real quick. Let's go inside of here. Let's do x1, and we'll paste that. There you go. So now they should be detached from each other, just to give it a fair shot. Let's try reloading the page, make sure that everything still works. There you go, nice and easy. And now let's take a look at our charts. So I should be able to set the data only in this one, set new data only in this one, and then set new data. Oh, setting data in here works. Setting new data in here doesn't work on this one because this is doing it on here. Okay, but let's see. If I click on here, okay, I think we kind of like got a little bit confused with what we're doing here. So how about I just really quick copy this and let's set this on x1. Let's take a look at that. So if I go on fx here, they both are setting this one actually. So okay, let's go on x1 and let's put those inside of here. x1, and then inside of here we'll take y1, so we'll copy that here and we'll put this y1 inside of here and we'll paste that. And now let's take a look, because we always want to test things properly and kind of like assume you know, that people trust that this package is, you know, fully reliable. It can be used on multiple instances. So let's load the data. Let's load the data. That's good. Let's update the data. It updates the data. Let's update the data. It updates the data here. That works. That works. Let's update the data here. Set the data here. Update the data here. Okay, it doesn't affect this one here. Update the data here. Set the data here. This meets my quality standards where people can use it without having to set an ID, without having to think about it, and it makes things simple. So I should be able to delete that section. I don't have to point this out, right? That this is a feature of my component. The component will speak for itself. I just want people to use it without having to think about how they're going to use it. So it just simply works. Let's see, component A, attribute. There'll be a video, but we can put some attributes inside of here. So let me write some documentation, but I'll do that later. That's the boring part. So let's just really quick view some changes, and then we will be able to publish this as a package with the community. So let's do final. There you go. That's what I call quality control. There you go. Let's view this in the editor again to make sure that I didn't do any mistakes. Let's make sure that everything is imported. Yeah, they are all being exported. That's nice. That's great. So this is kind of like now how we build this package, and then we'll install it now in an application. So let's launch this real quick. Let's launch this. And now we should have our own package going on inside of here. And there you go. So now we can package all built. So now I should be able to create a new application and install my own package. So let's open that here and let's try this out. So now inside of here, my application, I can go to the package store. I can go my latest package. Make sure to give me a thumbs up. Nice. Let's install this one, and we can see, we can test it with some fake data and all that kind of cool stuff. Very nice. And now I can go to my homepage and I can click on plus, and I should have my Apex chart package. Take a look, and I can now style it. I can do 25 rem. I can do height 25 rem. Maybe max height 25 rem. Maybe I should make it flex 1. You know, style variables, they tend to be better if you wrap this in a div to give it some styling. That's what Vak has always suggested me to do. So we'll do this with 20, we'll do 30 rem, and we'll do 25 rem, and we probably, for responsive reasons, want to make this actually with 100% maximum with 25 rem. There you go. Now we got our nice chart. We can set, you know, the color and all that kind of stuff. If we want to, we can do chart type bar. It updates it to a nice bar chart. I can do mode, dark. It'll make it dark. But I do like light. I'm a light person. There you go. We can change the background here to make it light, so it works nice with the light mode. Very beautiful. And then I can go show toolbar true, and it shows the toolbar, right? And we got the options all inside of here. And then we also have show toolbar false, right? There you go. And then we can set the name, because right now those ones don't have names, they just show values, but we can also add custom names to them. And that's kind of like how we build a component now that other people can use, and we can share the joy with the community, and they can then also clone it and tweak it and fine tune it. So if you want to, first of all, now you know it's a little bit of effort that goes into building such amazing components. And now here comes my marketing pitch. If you go to nocodeprocode.com, you got access to lots of those amazing components that take a lot of time to build for a small monthly fee of only $129.99. Leonard, by the way, already got a 50x on his investment, so that's a great ROI. And it is an investment into your future, and you will be able to build and learn how to build amazing stuff inside of Toddle. And you get access to great tools. You get access to daily office hours, right? Where we help solve the hardest 10%, and help you integrate those kinds of things and make sure that you make progress. And whenever you're stuck, you can join office hours and you can get the help that you need. We have full courses inside of here to even further, let you improve your learning curve, on your own without having to join the office hours if you don't feel social today, for example. We got dozens of courses. We got over 200 hours of educational material all around Toddle inside of here. And we got a great community. We also got great templates, as you can see. That's the latest template that I'm working on for a whole landing page, a whole SaaS. It includes login with Apple, login with Google, everything you need. It's not that we don't have those things already. I'm just making another one. Because if you take a look at all our Toddle templates, you're getting bombarded with all kinds of things, and it's the tutorials. But we also have lots of tutorials. Templates though. You're getting bombarded with templates and exciting stuff that is just going to make your whole workflow way simpler. For example, we got a whole SaaS template already here using Lemon Squeezy, Hyperbolic for AI, Resend, Xano, Toddle, right? We got like login with Apple. We got an action for that. We got Tiny MCE. We got basically Webflow built inside of Toddle, right? We got a video ask knockoff that I built, and I probably shouldn't share the whole link today, but who cares? And I built a whole template for basically a video ask knockoff, which is private, so I'll be updating this so people actually can copy it. Thank God I put it on private. And then we got cool things like a star shower. Oh, Andreas, don't look at jQuery. I know you don't like it. We got a switch. We got some small things, right? We got a booking calendar, which is quite complex. They are not fun to do. We got Stripe elements for payments. That is also not quite fun to do, but we got it all set up. This is also where all your dreams about single page applications come true. We got drag and drop. We got a tag input, right? We got, some documentation on headless Shopify stores, a system theme. We got click element by ID. We got formulas for displaying days. We got actually a proxy cluster, so you can connect your Toddle application with unlimited custom domains using an API if you build something like Linktree. We got an audio recorder. We got a splice function for Toddle, right? We got an accordion. We got HTML to PDF function. We got a custom HTML editor. We got a smooth, like an auto scroll. And we got like a Stripe donation element. We got a star rating. We got Google Auth. We got like dynamic conditional rendering and Toddle for where you can like conditionally render external web components, which is, just an edge case. We even got Framer Auth, by the way. And we got an upload care plugin, an NPM importer. We used that today, a hamburger menu component as, another Stripe elements actually. We got a PDF reader. We got WebSockets all set up. Those are all the templates. We got GSAP. We got single page application templates, all that kind of stuff. And then we got dozens of courses and tutorials to help you even further. And they are all multiple hours long. Some of them, we have one course that's I think 35 hours. So we really go in depth on things inside of here. And if you want to further, deepen your knowledge around Toddle and what you can do with it, you definitely want to join this community, this membership. It is the best investment that you can ever do. And then the big bonus is you're also going to get access to our daily office hours and to our AI Toddle UI builder, because building interfaces can be quite daunting.